Okay, today we're going to do a problem on solving equations. This one's a little bit more difficult because of course the fractions are involved and you actually have to use the LCD to eliminate these fractions. So the first step in doing an equation like this is to figure out what the LCD is. Now if you look at the three denominators in question here, you've got a 5, a 2, and a 3. So to do the LCD, you would need the 5 and the 2 and the 3. So if you multiply these three numbers, your LCD should be 30. Now what you're going to do with that is you're going to take each term, and you've got three terms. This is one term, two terms, three terms. And you're going to take each of these three terms and multiply by that LCD. And what this is going to do is it's going to eliminate your fractions. So that's the next step that I'm going to show you. So we're going to take the first term, which is 3x over 5, and we're going to multiply this by 30. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second term. I'm going to take x minus 3 over 2, and again I'm going to multiply it by 30. Notice that I just brought the negative sign down in between. And then the last term, I'm going to take x plus 2 divided by 3, and again I'm going to multiply this by 30. Okay, and when you're doing this multiplication, you're really in essence dividing. So you're going to say 5 into 30 is 6. Okay, 2 into 30 is 15, and then 3 into 30 is 10. Okay, once you get this, you notice that there are no more denominators. So we're going to write out what's left. Okay, so now what we see is we have 6 times 3x minus 15 times x minus 3 equals 10 times x plus 2. Now the reason why I need parentheses here and here is because of the fact that I have a binomial, which means you have two terms that you have to distribute the 15 and the 10. Now, next thing we're going to do is our distributing. When you distribute, you multiply. So I'm going to do 6 times 3, which is 18x. Now, when you get to this middle term here, you can either distribute a negative 15 or a positive 15 and keep it as subtraction. I strongly advise you to go ahead and distribute a negative 15. So I'm going to do negative 15 times x, which is negative 15x. And then negative 15 times negative 3, which is positive 45. On the other side, I'm going to get 10x plus 20. Okay, the next step that we're going to do is we need to combine our like terms. Now, like terms are the same terms on the same side of the equal sign. Do not go across the equal sign. Okay, keep the signs the same. For example, I have a positive 18x and a negative 15x. Those are like terms. If I combine them, I'm going to do exactly what it says to do. Don't change any signs. 18x minus 15x is 3x. And then I'm going to copy the rest of this down. Oops. Okay, so I've got 3x plus 45 equals 10x plus 20. Now, once you get to this point here, a lot of you are going to be able to finish this with no problems at all. This is called a multi-step equation where you have variables on both sides. So your next step is to get the variables on one side of the equal sign and the numbers on the other. What I advise you to do is move the smallest of the two variables. So if you look at our two variables, we have a 3x and a 10x. Which one is smaller? The 3x, so that's what we're going to move. Now in order to move things from side to side, you want to do the opposite. Since this is a positive 3x, I'm going to subtract it or make it negative. Okay, you always want to do the opposite when you're moving from side to side. Alright, so I'm going to do minus 3x from both sides. Alright, that leaves me with 45 equals 7x plus 20. Okay, now what? Well, since I chose to move the two variables to the right, I'm going to move the number to the left. Since it's positive, I'm going to subtract. Okay, 45 minus 20 is 25, and I'm going to have 7x left alone. And then my last step is to divide. Now, since 25 is not divisible by 7, you would just leave it as 25 over 7. So my answer is 25 over 7. Now, when you're doing these types of problems in my math lab, if you see the directions right as a solution set, then what they want you to do is put these little braces around it and just put the number inside. If you put x equals inside these brackets, then it's going to count it wrong. So a solution set is just the number or the solution. And if you have more than one solution, you put them in order from smallest to largest. I hope this clarifies a few things, and I hope it gives you a good example on how to solve an equation.